Welcome everybody to the Bison Overtime Show. I'm Grant Hubbard alongside Ethan Nybach, and this was a week for NDSU football that we anticipated was going to be a blowout. It was that and more, Ethan.
Yeah, I'm just excited to get back to the Fargo Dome. I had to rep the white today because it's a whiteout.
Did you wear white last week?
I probably did.
You wear yeah, it's a rotation with him. It's
Yep.
green, white, and yellow, maybe a black mixed in. It's a whole thing. So we'll just go into this before we roll the highlights. Just briefly going into this game, we anticipated, Tennessee State has some athletes, not as many as we thought last year. They were 9-3 last year. This year, they have a running back or two, like the Citadel questions at quarterback, didn't know what they were like. Their defense was okay with Greg Williams in with that opening victory they had, but this is a different kind of animal they were facing this week in the Bison.
Yeah, we talked about it last week. Like, Eddie George leaves. We don't know what to expect. Well, I didn't expect more than 52-3 like it was last year, and we got 59-3. So.
I think Tennessee State got way more than what they were asking for in the home of the Tennessee Titans. Let's roll the highlights from Nashville. They hope to visit twice this season out in Nashville at Tennessee State, home of the Tennessee Titans at Nissan Stadium. First play of the game, Cole Payton rolls out, finds Carson Williams on the RPO, a gain of 15 to get it going. Then Cole Payton will find Carson Williams once again for a pickup of 8 for a second down and 2. The next play, they'll get DJ Scott involved on the carry. He'll pick up 7 yards and pick up a first down to the Tennessee State 31-yard line. Then over the middle, Bryce Lance. He'll pick up 18 yards, get the Bison into the red zone. Then first and goal, Barika Penu into the end zone. Touchdown, Bison, 7-0 in the Music City. That was a 9-play, 71-yard drive, and the very next drive after a TSU punt, Barika gets in again for his second touchdown of the game. Then following another Tiger punt, Peyton lofts one deep, wide open. Bryce Lance to get to about the 4-yard line. And here's the short Eli Ozick field goal. You're in good hands with Eli Ozick from 22. It's 17-0. Fast-paced, another punt. Barika Penu driving his way to the end zone for the touchdown. 23-0 at this point. And oh my goodness, Donovan Woolen flies in for the 3-yard loss. Now Peyton back to throw here, loops one deep. Wide open is Reese Kessel, and Kessel will get it down to the TSU 5. Then from the 5, DJ Scott breaks it outside, and he's into the end zone. It's now 31-0 North Dakota State in the second quarter. Rolling right, Donovan Woolen, one-handed interception, and he will score. 38-0 Bison with just under 9 minutes to go in the first half.
Jabril Cox-esque about right there, I'd say.
I would say. Bison would keep it rolling late in the half off the RPO. He's going to flip it out to Raja Nelson, gets in on the fun, and it's 45-0 Bison at recess. Unreal first half by NDSU.
Can't ask for a better half. Great start, great finish to a first half.
This counts as 2 sacks. Keenan Wilson gets the quarterback and the running back for a 4-yard loss. Then Nathan Hayes comes in relief, and there goes Makai Collins. He is gone. Missed tackle, broken ankles, all of it. 52-0. It's not all bad, though, for Tennessee State. There's an interception by Byron Davis. But the Bison would respond in kind. Miles Mitchell cashes out. It's 59-0 NDSU. But the 97-0 run for the Bison was broken as a 45-yard field goal is good by Freddie Perez. But all in all, NDSU came to Music City and be singing "Take Me Home Country Roads" as the Bison shake, rattle, and roll the Tennessee State Tigers 59-3 to improve to 2-0 on the young season.
Yeah, I don't know if you could ask for a better game for the Bison. Not too many injuries from what we know, and basically that's what we said coming into the game. It's like, just win the game and stay healthy. Cole Payton didn't hurdle anybody, and that's a good thing.
The Bison were as fast as those highlights. Those things rolled fast, but just what I'm looking at, just the couple stats I pulled out here. The Bison had 433 yards of total offense. They held Tennessee State to just 131. The Bison had 24 first downs at Tennessee State's 4. 4 first downs in a 60-minute football game. and we dubbed the gold zone inside the 20-yard line for Tim Polasek. They were 7 of 7 in the gold zone. They did everything they were supposed to do and more in this blowout win.
Yeah, and I believe that first down for Tennessee State came midway through the third quarter.
Yep.
And, I mean, it doesn't matter who you're playing. That's impressive.
Yeah, very. Press conference was yesterday for Polasek. Just a couple injury notes to, we taped this on our Wednesday show, so this was on Tuesday. Chris Harris has plantar fasciitis in his foot. He could be back possibly after the bye week, but probably after the South Dakota game is when you'll see Chris Harris back in the lineup. It was rumored to be maybe a Jones fracture, but they got good news on the MRI, just a plantar fasciitis. Again, not, just is a kind word, but he'll be back at some point this season. A couple other injury notes. Chance Simons, defensive end, questionable with a bicep. Austin Altepeter likely to miss this weekend's game with a left calf problem. Jackson Williams is probable to play. He probably will dress, but probably not play with a toe problem. And Jalen Duffy, who's been injured a little bit, trying to fight through injuries with a toe issue as well, so he's questionable to play as well. And then 2 players are going to be out for the season now. Jack Hansen, a redshirt freshman defensive lineman, is out with an ACL tear. And Silas Evans, again, on this lineup, he would probably, if he wasn't at NDSU, Silas would play a lot more than he does, but he's got a torn meniscus and he'll be out for the year. So I think the Bison are still relatively healthy going into the back half of non-conference.
Yeah, you could be in a worse spot. I mean, you think of 2022, 2016.
Yep.
They had guys out for the year at this point in the year right away. But I think we pulled this quote out about Chris Harris. It's intriguing because he says if he was out for the year, he'd come back for sure. So you know he wants to play. But then again, it's like this receiver room is so deep. If he did come back next year, he'd probably get even more playing time.
Yeah.
But obviously he wants to play this year, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, our players of the week, I think we did cheat a little bit on the defensive one, but for offense, I think that was pretty obvious. Barika Penu, 10 rushes, 57 yards, 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, a hat trick in one quarter. He's becoming, Polasek wants him to be a bell cow, 20-plus carries a game. He has 22 carries total, but you know what? That's not a bad thing if all he does is find the end zone.
Yeah, he's got Bruce Anderson strength. I'm going to
Yeah.
say it. He's got that kind of ability, and they're always talking about we haven't seen him break one yet. Whatever. I think it's going to come at some point. You got to note that the Bison had the ball inside Tennessee territory for like the whole game. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're not going to break a big run in that territory.
Does that bother you? Because I feel like we've heard this for a while, is that they haven't broken the long run. I don't really think that means a lot because, like, well, okay, 15, 20 yards a clip, that's fine. I mean, you don't need the 60 to 70-yard run to prove that you can run the football. I don't know about
Here's
that.
the thing, like, from 2011 to 2022, the Bison didn't throw the ball. They ran it a lot, and that's why. 2023 and 24, we had arguably some of the best offenses to be here, and they relied on the pass. And why wouldn't you when you have Cam Miller? But it doesn't concern me. I think it'll come, but yeah.
It's like we waited all year for Marty Brown to have that big run he did against Missouri State. Barika had a 50-yard touchdown run against Missouri State. Like, it'll come.
Yeah.
It's just not going to be right now. It's going to happen throughout the season. Defensive player, we're going players on this one. Elijah Wayne, 2.5 TFLs as a true freshman out there. How is he here? I have no idea. And then Donovan Woolen, we're gonna have a co next to the defensive player. Donovan Woolen with the pick 6, one-handed. The ball probably should have been thrown out of bounds. The highlight was going fast, couldn't quite get through what I wanted to say, but geez, he's been really, and that TFL as well.
Yeah, I think Bison fans enjoy these two because if they're here,
they may not be here long.
Yeah,
Yep.
Donovan Woolen, if he's here in 2026, I'd be shocked. Elijah Wayne, he's only a freshman, so you never know, but enjoy these players.
Green and Gold Fund, donate.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear. Let's go around the valley in the FCS. We'll throw up the first graphic that we have. Number 2 SDSU defeats Montana State 30-24 in overtime. And as you can see on the graphic, what Brent Vegan has done, he's been really, really good against teams not named North Dakota State or South Dakota State. 34-2 and 23-0 at home, but he'd get him against the Bison and the Jacks. Yikes. It's been disaster class for Brent Vegan.
It's almost like the Bills. Like,
he's James Franklin is how I would describe it.
Yeah, that too. But it's like they're always going to be in the mix. Nobody's better at home than Brent Vegan.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say what you want about the Bison. Montana State doesn't lose at home unless they're playing the Bison or the Jacks. I don't know what they can do to get over the hump. Last year was their all-time team. They had Tommy Malott. It'll happen eventually. It will. But I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Vegan fell back into the trap of, I'm going to be Craig Bull, I'm going to run the ball, and I'm going to beat you with my run game. Well, that's where the Jacks are good, is up in the front 7. That secondary, until proven otherwise, is suspect. I'm sorry, it is. And that did not screamed to me that Montana State was going to be able to throw the ball and win this game. They had to do it on the ground with Julius Davis. They got it offside penalty to get it to that 4th and a foot. If they couldn't pick up a foot in overtime, where if you score, you're probably going to win in that game, in that double, probably get to double OT and win it. So that's disappointing to me. I thought they were going to win that game. I really did.
Yeah, it's disappointing to lose at home in general, and with the state of the FCS and the Valley and the Big Sky, it's like, well, now the Jacks and the Bison probably are going to meet up as undefeated teams, and there might be the 1 and 2. You probably cost yourself a semifinal home game.
Probably. I think in all likelihood they did. Like, they slid down to, what, 4th, I think, in the polls this week. Is it going to hurt them in the long run? If they lose a 3rd game, it might.
Yeah.
But right now, it's not going to hurt them one bit.
It makes the Brawl of the Wild that much more important, I'll say that.
Right, the rivalry that doesn't mean nearly as much, but apparently to everybody it means everything. So I don't get how that rivalry works. Just a couple stats we wanted to highlight here. The Bobcats were 5 of 15 on 3rd down. The Jacks were 1 of 13 on 3rd down. Jeez. The Bobcats dominated on the ground, 210 to 123. They dominated the total yards. I mean, they did everything right. It's not like the Jacks were on their side either. Chase Mason was 17 to 25 for $174. 3 touchdown passes, really, really good. He had 52 yards and a touchdown on the ground. My question with the Jacks, and I think you'll agree with me on this, the running back depth is not there. It's Julius Loffridge, and Julius Loffridge is a heck of a back. 14, well, I'm losing my notes. 23 rushes, 107 yards. But no depth.
No.
There's no Angel Johnson. There's no Maxwell Woods. There's none of that behind him. This is it. It's Loffridge.
Yeah, you look back to 2021. You had Pierre Strong and Isaiah Davis. Again, how did that team not do better with those two? But anyway, then you go to Isaiah Davis and Amar Johnson for 2 years. Amar Johnson, Angel Johnson, Kirby Voorhees. I mean, those are solid guys. This team, if Julius Loffridge gets hurt, I don't know
what you got behind them. And that's where the passing of Nate White, I think, is really hard for them to stomach. Is that you don't have depth anymore.
Yeah, not only for the team, just like mentally, but I mean, from things we heard, he was going to be the #1 guy. And if Julius
if that's a 1 and 2, now we're talking.
Yeah, but now it's you really got to rely on your recruiting and your development. And I don't know what they have. Maybe they have guys. We just don't know.
The Jacks are good at developing local receivers. Lofton Ogroski is going to be their top target this year. 12 catches, $125 and a touchdown. He's their guy this year. Whether Jack fans think they have depth or not, he's their guy at that #1 receiver.
Yeah, the Jacks just always come up with receivers, even going back to Jake Winicky, and then you go to Cade Johnson, now the Yankees, Griffin Wilde. Now they're always going to have a guy. This year, the question for me is where's the depth? And I think that was kind of the question last year. Like Graham Goring, okay, he's okay, whatever. But you had Wilde was a stud. Your tight ends were pretty good. This team, I don't know if they have the weapons. But defense is where they're strong. Again,
we won't know a lot about South Dakota State, or the Bison rather, until they face off in October. Until they face off, we just won't know how good these two teams are. After the bye, the NDSU's opponent is USD. Now, we've been looking at that game as probably a flag measuring stick. This is where we determine how good the Bison are. I'm not so sure about that anymore because Lamar University out there in Texas took down the Yotes 20-13. What? I just don't know how to feel about that. Just watching that game going, are you kidding me? You're going to lose to Lamar. I get they're on the road. This is the back half of a home and home between the two schools, but I'm sorry. That's embarrassing to lose that game on the road.
Yeah, when we did this show in the spring, before the spring portal window, we both agreed it's NDSU 1, USD 2.
Yeah.
And, new head coach, whatever, you still have guys. I think this proves with South Dakota State and South Dakota, losing linemen in the portal is you can't recover from that. Not at least not in 1 year. Skilled positions you can lose. The Bison have proved that. The Jacks have proved that. A lot of schools have gone through that. Aiden Bauman is a statue. I mean, he needs protection. He's a good quarterback when he gets protection, like most are. But I just don't know where USD goes from here.
I asked every player interviewed during media day, is South Dakota just the home opener, or does it mean more to you guys? And they just said it's just the conference opener for us. No, but it doesn't matter who the opponent is. They're really going to play to that upper echelon because they're going to wear the Code Green look. It's probably going to be a really good crowd, and they're going to be playing with their hair on fire off of a bye, nonetheless. I feel like the Bison may blow out South Dakota now.
Yeah,
they might.
Yeah, and if you look at it, South Dakota, if you lose to the Bison now, assuming they don't drop one to Northern Colorado, and then is it Drake after that? You're looking at a 2-3 season to start out, and you still have the Jacks and UND. You're looking at you're looking at putting your coach on the hot seat right away.
They're lucky. We'll get to our top 10s later. They're lucky to still be in the top 15.
Yes.
In one poll they are, and one they're not. So we're going to find out real quick if South Dakota and Travis Johansson, if they can rectify things, because it's getting on thin ice rather quick there in Vermilion. Other scores we want to talk about quick. UND is one that they're becoming a story here. They hang 50 on Portland State. They win 50-20 now. Portland State hadn't scored all season in their first 2 games, so I don't know how to feel about Portland State, but we've seen this in the past from UND. Mm-hmm. They have an inferior opponent. They score 50 points, but they give up 20 points. Now, 20 points, who cares? They give up 31 to Murray State. They scored 72. Then they came to the Dome and got waxed. Yes. So I don't know. Is this a measuring stick for UND as well? We'll find out soon enough, I think.
Yeah, I think they're obviously better than last year. We all know that.
Yep.
But if you go and win in Missoula, you're talking about putting yourself in the top 5 teams in FCS and getting up there with the Bison and the Jacks. But, I mean, putting up 50 against Portland State, borderline expected. Giving up 20, I mean, not great, whatever. It's UND. They're going to do that. Yeah,
you just don't know. You just don't know what UND is going to be like. And we've seen them struggle in the past. Again, this is still Bubba's teams they have in here. Thin defense, NSIC defensive line. With that, the secondary is decent, but I don't know. I have my suspicions. The offense is better. Jerry Kaminsky's been outstanding. No doubt about that. But that front 7, I'll take Bo Johnson, MP Fraley. I'll take those guys any day of the week, including Sunday. Other scores we want to talk about here. Youngstown State of Robert Morris, 56-17. We thought UNI would be better. They dropped 31-7 game to Wyoming. We thought they'd be better. They just weren't. Idaho holds off St. Thomas 37-30. We'll see St. Thomas at the end of the regular season. Nevada defeats Sacramento State 20-17. Varsity, junior varsity. The varsity team won the game. The JV team is underperforming. Washington defeats UC Davis. Northern Arizona over Utah Tech 38-31. Villanova Colgate 24-17. Villanova's always been a team that's been threatening to be something. They were the 8th seed a couple years ago. They're still consistent. Tarleton State over Mississippi Valley State 59-3. You got a take on Tarleton here.
They give me... Okay, this one's crazy, the 2016 JMU. They're not that talented. I'm going to say it in a situational manner because the conference is kind of weak. They could go like 11-1 and then be a 4 seed. That's where I stand on that. But the 2022 Incarnate Word, that's
more realistic.
Yeah, that's where I actually would compare them like player by player. I think this team's offense is high-powered. Skilled positions are going to be right up there with the top-notch teams. You know, these teams, it's always the question of how good is your front 7?
Can they stop anybody?
Yeah,
that's the question.
It's always the question.
A couple of final scores here. Missouri, Southern Illinois State. Geez, I'm all over the board. Number 7, Illinois State over Morehead State, 41-13. Boiler up, Purdue over Southern Illinois, 34-17. Called that one right on the head. Montana was in trouble with Central Washington for a little bit. They were behind early on in that game. They do come back to win 42-17. And Abilene Christian over Stephen F. Austin, 28-20. So the pick segment you'll see went handsomely in my favor this week. So those are just some of the scores we wanted to highlight. But hot takes, we're not done with those. iBox got 5 more. What do you got?
Yeah, we're going to try to do this every week, and then at the end of the year, we'll see how poorly I did. But this is for the FCS, not just the Bison. I've got USD missing the playoffs. If you lose 2 more, let's assume they're going to go at least 1-2 to the Dakotas, and they might go 0-3. If you go 0-3, you're not making it because you can't lose 5 games and make it. They still have Illinois State on their schedule, Southern Illinois. There's a real possibility where
I'm trying to look at their schedule here. They play Northern Colorado and then Drake. The matchup with the Bison, they get a free space with Murray State. At Indiana State, Northern Iowa, they should be fine there. So they should really only have 3 losses going into November, or the latest part of October, because they play Illinois State, then they get back-to-back games with Illinois State and North Dakota. And then the Jacks come to town.
That's
3 straight home games against 3 of the best teams in the country, and then Southern Illinois to finish the season. Who knows how good Southern Illinois is, but good grief. You've got to only have 3 losses going to that gauntlet, because they may miss the playoffs. You may be right on that one.
I think they almost have to win in Fargo if they want to make it.
Which has saved their season in the past couple of seasons, so who knows?
Yep. Second one I got here, UND gets a top 8 seed. Now, I'm as big of a UND hater as anybody. I've been a Bison fan my whole life. If UND wins in Missoula, and if they can go 2-1 in the Dakota games, that's a top 8 seed. As long as I don't blow one to like Indiana State like they usually do.
I have them going 5-7 to begin the season.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to take the Kansas. I'm still kind of wrap my head around the Kansas State because I just think, was K-State sleepwalking that game, or I just don't know how to feel about it because it was so bizarre. And K-State just lost to Army this last week, who lost to Tarleton. So I don't know how good K-State is. They did what they were supposed to do against Portland State. Good teams beat the inferior teams. They did that.
Yep.
Can they win a Valley road game? That's my benchmark. Win a road game in the Valley, and we can have discussions about UND. Now, they're probably going to be in our top 10s coming up here, but they got to prove it to me.
Yeah, I think we're really going to see the difference between Bubba and Eric Schmidt if they don't, because maybe Bubba wasn't great at getting the guys going in the road. I don't know what the issue is, because if NDSU can win in this area, UND should be able to. Glad they haven't been able to again, but I just don't know what to think about them as well.
Yeah.
But, third one I got is the SoCon gets one playoff team this year.
And that's the auto bid.
Yeah, the auto bid. I don't know who it's going to be. We have no idea what to think about the SoCon because the Citadel just blew out Samford. We saw the Citadel firsthand. They're not a good football team from what we can tell. Unless the Bison are just an all-time team and they made them look bad, we don't know. East Tennessee State, don't know what to think about them. Mercer looks not great.
There's been a different conference champion in that league the last 6 years.
Yeah.
So it really is the ultimate mixed bag, the ultimate mystery box. You have no idea what you're going to get with that conference.
In that area of the country, like those teams should be able to build up to, and they should be able to get more than one team in.
Yeah.
And I just don't see it happening.
We
this
thought
year.
Mercer was going to be that team.
Yeah, I thought they were building.
And they're not going to be in our top 25s already. They're not in any poll this week. So.
No.
Number 4.
I talked about them earlier. I got Tarleton.
Is that really a hot take?
Not really. Reaching the semifinals. Again, some of these are really hot takes, so I got to get some like gimmies in here. But I think they're going to be at least top 5 seed, maybe a 4.
It could be a 3 or a 4.
Yeah, they're not going to be a home team in the semifinal. They're probably going to get sent here or to Brookings or Bozeman, whatever. We don't know. I don't see them being a national championship team because I don't know if they can win in the cold on the road. But they most certainly are talented enough to get there. I think that's kind of where their goal is at this moment. But
I think the velvet ropes are up on the title game for if you're Dakota or Montana until somebody can break through that. Maybe it's Tarleton. Who knows? Yeah. But until then, I need to see more from Tarleton.
We literally haven't seen anybody else do it other than Sam Houston.
There has not. I was looking at this last week. There has not been a team winning in the semifinals on the road since 2016.
Yep.
That's when JMU went to Fargo and won, and Youngstown went to Eastern Washington and won. That's the last time a road semifinalist has won. So that's an uphill climb for the Texans.
And that was like a much different scenario because we go into that bracket every year back in the 2010s. We probably said there were 6 to 8 contenders.
Yeah, that's
and
fair to say.
now we're talking 2 to 3 every year. Yeah, probably.
I think
2.
there's truly 2 that you could say
every year.
Yeah.
This year for sure. My last one, NDSU gets the 1 seed, SDSU gets the 2 seed, and they meet in Nashville.
Okay, so you're going to assume that the Bison win the game in October.
Yep.
And the Jacks don't lose again.
Yep.
I think that's a pretty fair statement, I would say. And again, until we're proven wrong, this is just the way FCS football is.
Yeah, and you look at SDSU's schedule, like coming into this year, I would have said USD's finally going to get the Jacks in Vermillion. And
I'm not so sure about that.
I don't
in front
see
of a
that
national
happening.
TV audience, they may get pantsed.
No.
I mean, seriously, they might. They might.
And they go to UND. We don't know if that's going to be a tough game. You know, hockey season starting
blew
up.
them out. They blew them out last year
so.
in Grand Forks. So who knows what's going to happen inside the airplane hangar. All right, our top 10s this week I think were pretty self-explanatory. I thought the top half was pretty easy for me to figure out. Let's get that up when we can, guys. So my top 10, I'm just going to go through it quick. I got Bison 1, Jacks 2. I got Tarleton in the 3 spot. I'm not going to dock Montana State like some have. I'm moving down to 7. I have them at 4. Illinois State at 5. Montana has only played 1 game. I'll have them at 6. I have Rhody at 7. Idaho 8. Lehigh 9. Ethan talked me into it. I'll put UND at 10. I'm not putting them any higher until they win it. If they beat Montana, I could see them flipping spots with the Grizz. Until then, they're sitting at 10.
Yep. I got pretty similar, same amount of team or same kind of teams, just a little mixed up. Bison, Jacks 1, 2. If you argue that that's the 1, 2, you need to argue with the wall because that's. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not going to get too deep into it, but there's people out there giving SDSU the #1 votes. The Bison are the defending national champions. They've dominated everybody. Whatever. 3, Montana State. They were right there. They arguably should have won the game. I'm not going to dock them too far. I think it's valid though that you put Tarleton above them. Obviously, that's my 4. Montana and Illinois State 5, 6. These 2 teams are every year are impossible to figure out.
Correct.
I think this would be an incredible matchup because I think they're super even. But I could also see both of them dropping off because we just don't know what to expect. I got Rhody at 7. The CAA runs through Rhode Island, I guess. The fact that this team is in the top 10 at all, it's not great for the FCS, like we said last week. And UND at 8, interesting. You know, they almost beat K-State. They blow out Portland. I mean, if they win like you said, if they win in Missoula, they're going way up in the polls. If they lose, then we're like, okay, they're back to like a mediocre team, whatever. Idaho and Lehigh. Idaho barely beat St. Thomas. I think this could have been in my hot takes that Idaho doesn't make the playoffs because I've looked at their schedule. It's not easy, and if you're barely beating the Tommies, not a good sign.
Fighting Taters are in trouble, you think?
Yeah. I got Lehigh at 10. Not much to say. It's not a quality back end of the top 10.
Yeah, looking at let's get to the actual poll here. Incarnate Word is at 14. Should they still be ranked? I don't know. I think I would probably have one in the back half, probably in the 20s if I had to sparse it out. But man, I don't know. That's a tough one for me to still have them ranked.
Yeah, it's the way they played against Nichols. I mean, a lot of people had them as their number 3 or 4
team. 3 or 4,
yep. Which whatever, you don't know what to expect. You can do what you want. But losing to Nichols and not having any offense whatsoever, and then they beat Eastern Washington by 10. Props to them. Whatever, I don't care. If they're ranked, they need to be 20 through 25. They cannot be as high as they are.
USD has become a hot topic here on this show and in the rankings especially. In the Stats Perform Top 25, which is one that really mostly people use, they're ranked 12th. In the coaches poll, they're ranked 20th. That's a big disparity. That's 8-spot difference between the two. Would I have them ranked right now? I'll be honest, I would say no. They have not looked impressive in either game. They got blown out at Iowa State, and you lose again to Lamar, you shouldn't lose. They wouldn't be in my top 25. If we did past 10, they wouldn't be either.
Yeah, when you come into seasons, you know we used to know the players that are coming back and stuff. Now you don't.
No clue.
So you have to go purely off of like resume and how you've played and how you've looked. South Dakota just flat out has played awful so far.
Yeah.
So they're not a top 25 team. They haven't played like a top 25 team. No. Are they a top 25 team? Maybe.
According to the pollsters, they are.
Yeah, I guess they are.
Sac State, why are you still ranked? Your president talks all this crap. You fall flat in Brookings, undisciplined, and then you go to Nevada. We almost beat Nevada. You didn't win the game, okay? You want to compete with the big boys, then beat one of them.
Yeah.
FCS or FBS. If you can't beat the worst Mountain West team, I don't want to hear it. Get out. Done. They shouldn't be in the top 25.
Yeah, if anybody loves Twitter toxicness, whatever the word you want to use, go follow. I think it's Dr.
Luke Wood.
Yeah,
go follow him.
Go follow him and look in his comments. Might be the biggest troll ever on FCS Twitter, and there's been a lot of them in our days of watching FCS football.
Even in our own backyard, trust me, this just doesn't stop. Yeah. I said this a lot. I don't believe in certain teams. I sure as heck don't believe in Sacramento State. No. They haven't shown us anything. You spend, $7 million on a roster, and I think you guys are getting ripped off and scammed because there's nothing there. Jaden Rashada, he's never started a game. He's a highly touted recruit. So what? If you can't coach him, who cares?
That's where NDSU separates themselves, is that they don't look at the stars. They
no.
look at, Cooper Kupp was a 0-star recruit at Eastern Washington. Easton Stick was a 0-star recruit, probably the best quarterback to ever play.
Again, what's the Craig Bull rule? What's his character?
Yeah.
If the janitor says there's something wrong with you, they're not recruiting you. It's just plain and simple as that. They know how to find. They're not addicted to cities and stars.
Yes.
Cody Mauck.
Mark Gronowski, he was a 0-star recruit.
Naperville, Illinois.
Yeah.
They're not a hotbed for quarterbacks. The Volsons, Balfour and Beach. I mean, come on. Big cities don't mean anything. Again, thank you, Minnesota Golden Gophers, Tim Brewster. We appreciate your service. I added this one in late. We talked about it earlier. South Dakota State, should they be number 1? No. They got 7 of the 56 first place votes. The Bison got the other 49. No. They should not be number 1. Yes, they have a good resume, but champions are champions until they are knocked off.
Yep.
The Bison have outscored the first 2 opponents 97-3. I get that's inferior competition, and the Jacks have 2 top 25 wins. Sacramento State won't be ranked by 2 weeks from now. They won't be ranked. Montana State's a good win. I understand that. Depth, their choppiness on offense, they don't look like the Jacks of old. They're going to be ranked second probably all season long. They are not the number 1 team in the country. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They're not.
If you read the stuff that Sam Herder puts out, I feel like he's super fair.
He's super down the middle.
Yeah, he's not biased at all, but we're not going to
He
talk
went
about...
to NDSU. Yes, he did, but he's as down the middle as they come.
Yeah, if you didn't know that and you read his stuff, you wouldn't know.
Exactly.
Because last year, it was obvious the Jacks were going to be #1 preseason all the way until the Bison had to try to beat them.
Until they beat them, yeah, exactly.
Did the Bison play tougher teams? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Did SDSU lose to Oklahoma State blowout and the Bison almost beat Colorado? Yeah. SDSU is the defending national champions. You can't take them out until someone beats them. Bison, it's the same thing this year. And another thing, the Bison have dominated. It doesn't matter who you play. You can't go off resume necessarily, more of how they look this point in the year. I would say when you get into week 9, 10, 11, you can start going off of, okay, they have more ranked wins, whatever. But right now, I think this is just, I can't believe we have to have this conversation because I feel like it's just known in college football.
There are even Jackrabbit fans on Twitter who say, we're good, but the Bison are defending champs. Even there's the mutual respect between these two teams that I will always love and respect between them, because there is mutual that, hey, we hate each other, but we need each other. And they know that, okay, we think we're pretty good. They know they're really good. The Bison should be #1 for now. That's all we're saying. If the Bison go to Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium and lose, then the Jacks should be #1. I'm not going to dispute any of that. Until then, let's leave this till the middle of October. Then we'll get back to the topic of who should be #1. The Bison played in Nashville this week, which is the site of the national championship game. We played at what's the stadium called? First Bank or whatever it's called up in Nashville. It's played on the campus of Vanderbilt University. Okay, so they're in Nashville as well. This game is played at Nissan Stadium, where Tennessee State borrows the stadium from the Tennessee Titans for their game. Apparently, the game was played on CBS and no one knew about it.
Really?
Because the NFL on CBS, the banners were still around.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So apparently the game was on CBS and no one cared to change it.
Yep.
The attendance was just over 8,500. You were there. What was the actual attendance?
It was probably a little over 5,000. But, like, did any of us expect it to be like it was a U.S. Bank Stadium with 22,000 or whatever it was? No.
How many blue shirts did you see outside of the band and the cheerleaders? How many Tennessee State fans were there?
Maybe a little over 100.
Yeah.
Here's the thing I think about is, like, if the Bison played this game last year, knowing that Nashville is the destination this year for the national championship, I think they would get more. I think a lot of people know that the Bison there's a pretty good chance they're going to be in the mix to make it to Nashville again. I think they're planning on going there then because the weather here is going to be brutal at that time of year.
Right.
Why not escape down to Nashville? It's worth noting, though, I mean, we'll get to the video, but the people that helped us tour in Vanderbilt, they said it gets pretty cold down there.
Yeah, you did a time-lapse kind of video of what went on of your trip. So let's roll that, guys. Let's roll Ethan's experience. I'll let you take it away here.
Yeah, we took off not too early in the morning on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. Touchdown in Nashville in the morning. We didn't do a whole lot that day, just kind of found a place to eat, watch some TV, and then day 2 is when we got to tour Vanderbilt Stadium. We got to go on the field. I'm not gonna lie, this looks a little big for the FCS, but it's definitely gonna look solid if it's the Bison and the Jacks or Montana State. And I gotta say, this campus is beautiful. I mean, that's the baseball field. They've won multiple national championships. We all know that. This campus was second to none. Another picture outside the baseball field, and also the separation between the two is not far. And then we also toured the Titans Stadium on Friday. That's the new stadium being built. I think that's a scene from the press box. Got to go on the field a little bit. And I think they're trying to host the Super Bowl in 4 years, I want to say, at the new stadium. Overall, it's not my favorite NFL stadium, but it was still pretty nice. And then that's where you'd see Jim Nantz and Tony Romo in that studio.
They're never going back there.
Nope. And then that was the Titans locker room. That's where the players came out. It's actually where the Bison entrance was. I thought that was pretty cool. And then that's the scene from a suite. And then we saw the Jedry Sear mobile outside the stadium. Then we went across the bridge, the walking bridge, got to see the Nashville skyline. You'll see up here in a second the Cumberland River. Nashville's a pretty good sight to see, especially downtown and Broadway. It's like, if you like WeFest, I'm not one of those guys that likes that, you'll like that. And then day 3 was game day for the Bison. Not a big crowd to start out, obviously. We saw Coach Hedberg basically on the sideline the whole game, of course.
Unofficial assistant coach.
Yeah, and then you can see not a great turnout. Obviously, way more Bison fans. I think we all knew that was going to happen. Yeah. I think we all knew the result that was coming. And then, yeah, there's the new stadium. coming 2027. And then that night had 3 games going on at the same time.
He's committed to his craft, boys and girls.
And then we, I got to take off at 6:30 in the morning. I think I got about 2 hours of sleep that night. And then I think we touched down in Fargo. 8:47. Watched football on Sunday, and we got back. We were back plenty early, so 3-day trip. It was. I'm going to say it's going to be really hard for Frisco to get this game back, but we do have to see. You said it off the air. We do have to see the Frisco Stadium, what it's going to look like.
Who gave you this tour? Because you got the bells and whistles of the whole place.
Yeah. So when my dad a couple months ago he scheduled this tour, he said college students enrolled at all anywhere in the country are not allowed to tour stadiums
That's
at all.
Such a BS rule. I'm sorry. That's not
we
fair.
get there, and the lady was super nice. She's like, "So are you in college?" I'm like, "No, I just work." So technically,
he does work. He's doing the show, so he does work. You're welcome.
So technically, I don't think that was legal, but it was. I don't know if you've toured an NFL stadium or anything.
I haven't,
but you're in like a group of like 15, 20
right.
people. This was one-on-one. It was me and my dad, and then the lady, and she just walked us around the campus and the athletic complexes. And like I was saying earlier, the gap from the football stadium to the baseball stadium is like the size of this room. It is. Mm-hmm. They're right up against each other. So I don't know how tailgating is going to work and all that in Nashville, but they were excited about it. We mentioned like, hey, this is where we're expecting to be in January, and all the people that were working knew about it and they were excited. So they're definitely embracing it. I mean, obviously we love Frisco. I hope it goes back there because Nashville is not exactly a small city like Frisco is that can embrace it. But yeah, it was a fun trip.
Yeah. So we'll just talk about it quick. Does this game return to Frisco? I want to say it does, just because I get it on ESPN. It may not look like the greatest place in the world to play a football game. I've been there when it was being renovated, when it was completed, and it's a great place to watch them. I get it to the soccer stadium. It doesn't look, again, just talking from I'm a television guy from ESPN. I get when they show that wide shot, National Soccer Hall of Fame may not look like the best place to play a football game. But once they get the renovations finished, I think it's going to be the perfect size, like you said. Yeah. I think Vanderbilt's like 34,000.
Yep, it's something like that.
Frisco is about 25. It'll be about 25,000, I think, once the renovations are finished. I want to see the stadium finished before we make any judgments. I think that's what Ty Halpin and NCAA is going to be doing. They're going to say, okay, how did we do in Nashville? What does Frisco look like, and do we want to go back there? Yep. I'm going to say they do go back to Frisco, but it may be on a rotation. Who knows, where they switch between Frisco and Nashville. I could see that happening.
I think it'd be awesome if they went Nashville this year, Frisco next year. However they determine that, I don't know. But for people that haven't been to Frisco, it's like tailgate. It's a dream for tailgating. There's nothing surrounding the stadium. In the city, it's next to Dallas. So if you want to go, if you're a big city guy, you like to go do things, you can. It's like 20-minute drive. If you're a small town guy, you like to go to the bars and whatever, Frisco is perfect for that. People are always Ubering. You don't have to get a rent-a-car. There's hotels everywhere. It's a perfect spot. I really hope it goes back there. The stadium, like you said, it's a perfect size. Like, you're never going to have empty seats in Frisco unless it's a JMU in Youngstown again, which never is going to happen.
Well, they were redoing a side of the stadium too, so that's not fair.
But when it's Bison Bobcats, Bison Jacks, it's going to be packed and it's a great environment. I've heard the media people talk about like the offices up above are pretty decent. It's not like the Fargo Dome. So, but just to sum it up, I hope it goes back to Frisco.
Yeah, we'll preview the next opponent here, Southeast Missouri State. They're 1-1 on the season. Their loss was to FBS Arkansas State. Their victories against North Alabama. 4-time Ohio Valley Conference champs, 5 playoff appearances. Tom Matukowicz is their coach. He has a 500 record. He's 63 up, 63 down. 1-5 playoff record is not pretty, including last year's loss to Illinois State, where their quarterback threw 80 passes in a playoff game. That's a record, by the way. And their best win was 7 years ago when they played Jacksonville State and won when Jacksonville State was still FCS. Their roster is about half from high school recruits, and the other half is from the South Central region, 30% from the state of Missouri, 16% from the Midwest. I mean, Tom Matukowicz, at least he's recruiting his hotbed, that Missouri area and the states that surround it. At least he's recruiting kind of what the Bison do. He's recruiting his areas.
Yeah, we saw Tennessee State, 84 new players, something like that. At least these guys, 58% of their roster, I've noted down here, 87% of the high school recruits are from Missouri. So, I mean, they're getting guys out of their backyard, which is good. And you have to get transfers. I mean, if you're a
Yeah.
small school like this, you're not going to keep everybody. So I think they're doing it the right way.
Yeah, Jax Leatherwood is the quarterback. One, great name. Two, he's 6'8", 253 pounds. He's the tallest quarterback they've seen since Brady Gustafson came in here from Montana. He was 6'7". Started at Nevada, went to a JUCO school. Has 2 years left of eligibility. He's listed as a junior. Last week against North Alabama, 21 to 33, 225 yards, 2 touchdown passes. You list here, he's not a scrambler, so
It could be good practice for Aiden Bauman. Get pressure on him.
he also has, let's see here, what else do we got? And his season average, 23 to 34, about 249 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. So run-of-the-mill SoCon quarterback. I think he was the player of the week last week in the Ohio Valley. The running back is Peyton Brown, the brother of Preston Brown, is a freshman quarterback here at NDSU. 26 carries, 119 yards. It is what it is. And then Donnie Cheers and Cam Page are their top receivers. They have about almost 200 yards total between the two. And they have the best defensive players, Landon Sylvie, leading tackler with 20 tackles so far. So they have some offensive weapons. Defensively, work in progress, but they say at least they're going to threaten the Bison downfield, because that's the one area we haven't seen from the Bison yet is those corners.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what the corners, safeties can do, because we've seen it the last 2 weeks. Yes, the opponents were bad. Front seven for the Bison is going to be good this
Dominant,
year.
yep.
I'm excited because, you don't want to go into the South Dakota game regardless of how good they are. We don't want to go into Valley play not having practice against guys that pass the ball. Obviously, they face each other. Iron sharpens iron. They can say that however they want. They need to practice against an actual team. So I think this is going to be like a Central Arkansas kind of like team, maybe. The way that
There's no Shunderic Powell coming out of that locker room, though.
No, they don't have
That's
any.
the thing.
That's the thing. I think this is going to be pure passing. I think the Bison are going to dominate time of possession because
Yes.
this team is going to pass a ton, which results in stopping the clock a lot. So, yeah, excited.
Let's pick some winners here as we close up shop here in the Bison Overtime Show. We got 5 games to pick here. Montana UND, West Georgia East Tennessee, Northern Iowa Eastern Washington, UCA Tarleton, Gardner Webb, and Citadel. Let's put them on the screen in front of us when you can, please, guys. Thank you. I dominated last week. Went 4-1 in picks last week. Ethan went 2-3. I'm going to go one by one here. I'm going to go Montana against UND. I don't know about UND yet. You apparently do, but I'm going. It's so hard to win in Wagriz against the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
I don't care where they're ranked. It's just so hard to go in there and win. I'm going to go Montana. West Georgia ETSU. West Georgia's in the top 25 for the first time ever. They're transitioning from D2 to D1. ETSU, we saw them last year. This is a totally different team. Again, Trey Lamb and his guys are gone. This is a totally new team. Cade McNamara, Jacoby Criswell, the 2 quarterbacks they have, both FBS guys. I like ETSU. The game's in Johnson City. I'm going to go ETSU. Or it's in West Georgia, excuse me, but I'm still picking ETSU. Northern Iowa, Eastern Washington. If it was 2016, I'd be all in for this game. Cooper Kupp and Stu Stiles, and we got Aaron Bailey and Tyvis Smith. This would be a great game, but it's not. It's 2 teams that are struggling with funding, struggling to find a good season every now and then. Aaron Best is doing his best at Eastern Washington. First-year coach for Northern Iowa, Todd Stepsis. UNI is going to be back where they should be, I think, 4 or 5 years. But right now, I'm going to pick Stepsis and his team to win this game, but it's going to be very, very close. Let's put it that way. I'm going to go Tarleton against Central Arkansas. I like Tarleton the way they're playing right now. I'll take the Texans. And then Gardner Webb and the Citadel. We saw the Citadel up and down. We dominated them. They dominated the previous opponent. I'm going to take Gardner Webb. I got a feeling with Gardner Webb. This one might get me in trouble, but I'm going to go with the running Bulldogs against the Bulldogs in this one. Ethan, what do you got?
I am taking the Fighting Hawks to win in Missoula.
Good grief.
It's I don't know what my thought is behind this, but I just
You're trying to be different than me, catch up. I
no.
understand.
I think I would have picked UND anyway because Montana played really bad against a D2 team. And yes, I do have to make up ground, but there's a long ways to go, long season. I will say this: if I go like 2-3 again, I am in deep trouble for the rest of the year.
You're Sam Getzinger. You're done.
Yeah, I'm going West Georgia over ETSU.
That was a coin flip for us yesterday, so I don't blame you on that one.
This one's has nothing to do with the making up ground. I mean, West Georgia dominated Nichols. ETSU is. I mean, they played Murray State. They played Tennessee. About as wide of a gap in Division I there is. We don't know what they are. Northern Iowa and Eastern Washington. This looks like a 2014 semifinal game.
Oh, it'd be great if
paper.
it was. If
this
only
would be
that was
awesome.
real.
Gage Gubrud versus Aaron Bailey. I mean, I'd be all over this. But yeah, it's again, these 2 teams are probably going to go like 4-8 this year. It's not what it was, but we had to put it on here for old time's
It's
sake.
a damn shame that neither one of them is good anymore, because that would be a heck of a game.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Eagles, I think. It's a kind of a toss-up.
Again, toss-up again,
Yeah.
so I don't blame him on that pick either.
Tarleton, the number 3 team in the country. I mean, I don't see a version where they lose this game, but then again, this conference sometimes can surprise us.
Who knows?
Gardner-Webb and the Citadel. I struggled with this one too. Citadel, watching them on TV, I just can't pick them. They look so bad. I'm taking Gardner-Webb.
They're starting a receiver who is the same size as John Gores. I mean, I can't take you seriously if you got him out there playing receiver.
But we love John Gores.
We do love John. Johnny Scores is great. You know he's a Shanley grad. I love him.
Yeah.
So again, this week, Southeast Missouri State. You can put up the graphic, guys. Southeast Missouri State comes in here this weekend. The banner raising, the new uniforms are out. It's 2:30 p.m. on WDAY, the game. So call the station just to confirm if you want to. Sorry, Dom. The game is on WDAY. So Channel 6, it's there for you. We expect the Bison to win this game.
Yeah.
We do. They should win this game handily. They shouldn't have to play Jackson Williams or Jalen Duffy if they don't feel the urge to. They should win this game, win it handily, get to the bye, get healthy, and get to USD.
Yeah, I just think the energy is going to be high. Banner raising, new uniforms. Polisek's going to be fired up to be at the Dome. He might be doing some fist bumps running out of the tunnel.
Maybe.
If you want a score prediction, I think I'm going to go 38-17. I think SEMO gets one touchdown on the starting offense and then one garbage time touchdown.
I'm gonna go. This feels like a 52-10 game. I gotta see SEMO in this Bison offense. And if they put that left foot on the pedal, I don't know who's gonna stop them.
Yep.
I just don't. I haven't seen who can, and SEMO doesn't. They're your run-of-the-mill Ohio Valley Big South team. Got a little bit of offense, but they struggle on that defensive side of the ball. Give me the Bison every day. So we'll recap next week. We'll recap the SEMO game. I don't know what we're gonna do next week. Other than that, we'll maybe get some more of your hot takes and maybe some of your bad picks. Who knows?
Okay.
Until then, this has been the Bison.
back.
Hey. For our entire crew, Ethan Nybach, I'm Grant Hubbard. Thank you so much for watching. This has been the Bison Overtime Show. Horns up and go Bison. See you next week.